My husband and I and our son have always felt that the best day of the year was not Christmas Eve, was not your birthday. It was the day before Shrine Mont.
Shrine Mont has meant so much to me because I'm able to maintain a tradition with my children. We always know that that week in August we will all be together here.
Shrine Mont famously is a place apart, and so that means it's both of this world and out of this world.
There's a kind of frenzied pace to our culture right now. So going somewhere where you can intentionally calm down, rest, and relax sounds very inviting.
My father began working for Dr. Edmund Woodward, who was the founder of Shrine Mont, when he was 12 years old. And his first job was to pick up buckets of stones to help build the roads that now go through the Shrine Mont property. His father, Tom Mumaw, helped to build the shrine itself. The stones, which came down from the mountain behind the shrine, make me think of all the people who have been at Shrine Mont. We're all different colors and shapes and sizes and textures. And to sit in that place and to worship is a life-changing experience on this mountain.
Every time I come to Shrine Mont, I go sit in the shrine. My favorite thing to do is be there at sunrise and watch the sun coming up through the cutout behind the altar. It's the most wonderful experience.
The idea that my kids basically are having the same experience I had as a child is meaningful. Exploring the campus, feeling independent from their parents, getting to know the environment and making friendships on their own.
It's a relaxing place. It's a kind of location where titles kind of just slip aside and people interact, young and old.
And it's such a slower pace of life that your goals for this week can just be to visit places that you love.
The biggest thing is a welcoming atmosphere. I've never had an experience that was not positive there.
If you saw a gathering of people or a party, you just always felt welcome to just walk right in and everybody would be welcoming.
But getting older and getting more comfortable and actually realizing oh, these are family.
The beauty of a family camp is that there is no set way of thinking about what a family is supposed to look like. That family comes together as they are, and we make up the wider, bigger family of God that is gathered there on the mountain.
My favorite thing to do here is everything. I love swimming, hiking, stargazing. It's just so fun. My parents really like it here, and they kind of do the same stuff that we do, except with less sugar and less running.
I go to the Labyrinth. I've led weekend retreats there. We ask people to walk quietly and meditatively and slowly into the center and to spend a little time meditating quietly for a few minutes and then walking out. And the circular motion as you walk into the center of the labyrinth reminds me of our spiritual journeys.
I'm learning pickleball, and the activities that happened at night last night, we had a square dance, that was a blast, and campfires and things like that.
The music festival is a real special example of what Shrine Mont has brought to this area. This is such a unique place in that it captures not just the physical and logistical needs of a lot of events, but it has the added depth of the beautiful natural surroundings, the dining room where you get fed and don't have to cook your own food.
The food is so good, especially the fried chicken and the macaroni and cheese.
We have 15,000 different guests come through our gates every year. Shrine Mont is 15,000 different things. From sitting on the porch with your family to catching salamanders with your children at the pond. My job is to make sure that the 15,000 different folks have the time of their life.
When we think about the future, we have to be really realistic that 100-year-old buildings that were only meant to last for 40 years sometimes need to be replaced and need to be upgraded. It's not the building that makes it special, it's the gathering of people. And sometimes we need to do new things to make it easier for people to gather.
And so we are expanding the facility.
We're understanding what our guests need in this century, which includes accessibility and a much better place for gathering inside and outside. In 1940, he built Art Hall, and that was to hold all the art that his uncle, John Douglas Woodward, had created throughout his career. The problem with it now is that it really is at the bottom of a hill. The water just washes right underneath it, and the reality is it's going to fall down if we don't fix it up, and the only way to do that is from the foundations and up. We're taking advantage of that opportunity to rebuild Brown Hall and Art Hall, holding on to what Dr. Woodward felt were the important aspects of it as a community gathering space and a place where you could feel the nature around you.
We have so many beautiful stones and stone work around the foundation of Art Hall. Those stones will be repurposed in the new facility, and that's intentional. We really want to keep that beautiful stone heritage because it ties it into the past.
Using the uncut stones was a symbol of how God works with us in the way we are. And it just is a symbol of the stability that Shrinemont gives to those who come here.
It is a continuation of Dr. Woodward's vision of what this place will be. And I think they're being so faithful to that vision.
Ever since we were founded, we have been completely independent financially of the Diocese of Virginia and fully self-sufficient. Our work on Art Hall and Brown Hall will be the linchpin of a major fundraising campaign. This campaign will enable our friends and our guests to show how important Shrinemont is to them and allow us to show them how important they are to us. The other piece that we feel we must have as part of this fundraising campaign is an additional endowment.
L-O-V-E, love. That's what Shrinemont is.
If we want this beautiful facility to exist into the future, we have to step up to provide that backing. When we give, we allow Shrinemont to provide the same kind of place apart that we have loved and benefited from for generations.
Knowing that Shrinemont will extend for what we hope is centuries to come is so comforting. And the thought that my children and their cousins will continue this beyond the time that I am able to be here just makes me beyond happy. It's just the most wonderful thing to imagine.